because I didn't know how to be in the world and be different. So I thought the only way to be in the world was to be in the world and be liked. And in order to be liked, you had to be likable. In order to be liked, you had to like what other people liked. And it's like, damn, what I'm really admitting, is that I've been fake. Oh my God. What's up, you guys? I'm out here taking my little daily walk, and I just wanted to vlog and share some thoughts that I was having about boundaries and compassion. So I'm just sitting here thinking about how I used to judge people or like have this strong dislike for people who were not as aware, conscious, knowledgeable, commonsensical, and highly sensitive as me. Like I couldn't understand. I'm talking about couldn't past tense. I can't understand like how they don't see certain things. Like, and it puts a level of disgust in my mouth. It literally puts a level of disgust in my mouth. But what I'm realizing now is that there's a way to see differences in people without judging it, without shunning it, and like without putting all of this negativity in between you and the difference of another person. And that bridge would be compassion. I didn't know how to be in differences, and I only knew two ways to react to something that was different from me. Either accept it and merge with it, so like step out of my shoes and into their shoes. I learned how to do that as like a safety mechanism, meaning like even if I didn't like it, accept it, I chose acceptance as a safety mechanism. Like it won't bother me as much to like take my shoes off and put yours on for a little while. It'll benefit me in the long run, is I think how I was thinking of it, or just doing it. That was the reason for my doing it energetically. So I didn't know how to be in difference with someone else and not just take on what they had or completely reject and like shade, shun, and just like reject their difference. So being more in judgment, being more in guilting and shaming people. And it just, I don't know why I'm walking and I'm thinking about how me not having those clear boundaries or not knowing how to maneuver that boundary of being indifferent with somebody really caused a lot of tension for me in my life, and I think in my relationships with others, and it's caused just a lot of tension in what it is that I'm able to go out in the world and do. I only knew to be indifferent with someone else or some other thing was either to just shun myself and accept it, or shun them and accept me, not understanding that the bridge between those two things is compassion. And having compassion, I think, makes it easier to implement boundaries, because the boundary isn't due to judgment. The boundary isn't due to dislike. There's no negative energy in the boundary due to the difference. And so compassion is like this bridge between two people who are different, two entities who are different, and who can find the commonality in the fact that they are different, and how that impacts relationships, how that impacts what you're able to see, manifest, and go for in your life. I say all of this because I'm just realizing how learning myself, learning more about me, learning more about who I am, learning more about how I operate just naturally has shown me how I'm so different from most of the people that I'm around. And that's okay. There's literally nothing wrong with that. But I never knew how to own the fact that I'm just way more in depth, or I'm just way more aware of certain things, or I'm just way more in tune with certain stuff. And I decided unconsciously, I think, to just cut that part off. So now that I'm reintroducing it, it's changing who I am drastically. It's morphing who I am drastically by integrating more parts of me that I thought weren't valuable. Hence why I was struggling to create value in the world, because I didn't believe I was valuable in certain areas that were. I was like downplaying it, you know? But I keep losing my train of thought because I just be talking. Lord, I just be talking. This is hard. Blogging is hard. Okay, what was I saying? So now that I'm like learning this new part of myself, not new, always there, integrating this always there part of myself, you know? It's just, it's really scary. It's really, really scary because you're just not I'm just not known for who I know that I am. I'm not known to be the person that I know that I am. And so I feel like it's going to come off looking fake. I feel like it's going to come off looking phony. And a part of me feels like I just have to accept that because you've been in hiding for so long. And then that's where the compassion comes in, like learning how to give yourself the compassion through this transition. Just had to turn around, but learning how to give yourself the compassion through the transition. Give it to yourself and give it to others, because I didn't know how to be in the world and be different. So I thought the only way to be in the world was to be in the world and be liked. And in order to be liked, you had to be likable. In order to be liked, you had to like what other people liked. And it's like, damn, what I'm really admitting is that I've been fake. Oh my God. Damn. Wow. Shit. Compassion. No, but seriously, like what I'm basically admitting is, not in all my relationships. And this makes so much sense. It's not, do I even post this? This is a lot to post. Not in all of my relationships, but if I don't know how to be comfortable in myself, if I don't know how to show up as myself, so my superpower is learning how to show up as what other people need, want, and like. And I've been holding that role for years. In order to take off that mask and in order to make that transition, on some level, I have to admit that it was fake. You could say, in some hoods, you could say that's fake. Maybe in the suburbs, it's called finding yourself. In psychology, maybe it's called an identity crisis. But in the hood, it's called being fake. Oh my God. That's ugly. That's ugly. And so, not judging myself, not shutting down on myself, but having compassion for myself and allowing myself to appear, show up, and look different, and to potentially look and appear to be fake. And on some level, I was, because I was not being who I truly am, because I didn't know how. But it's just like on this journey, the more that I'm uncovering, I've really been on the need to be liked this week. My affirmation this week has literally been, it's okay for people not to like me. It's okay for people not to like me. Like, you won't die because somebody don't like you, see? That's been the number one affirmation for me. And I feel like this conversation that we're having right now is just a continuation of that whole entire concept, which spins the block back to compassion and having compassion for myself and having compassion for others, and requesting not for my own sake and safety, but just requesting forgiveness where I did not have compassion in differences. I just didn't know how to operate in difference. And the way that you operate in indifference is through compassion. It allows you to be who you are, them to be them, and us to be able to share space, cohabitate, relate without you needing to be me or me needing to be you. There's so much relationship rendered around us needing to be alike. And I'm not saying that we can just scrap it all together. I think it is important on a certain level, but we don't have to be the same in order to get along. And I think that's just fundamentally misunderstood within our society. Like, we don't all have to be a monolith in order to understand each other and get along. Requesting forgiveness for the relationships that I've entered and continued with a lack of compassion between us, and taking responsibility for that energy that I put into that. I think that that's really big moving forward. And then just really practicing and learning how to embrace myself and give compassion to myself and allow myself to be different, and nothing to be wrong with that, you know? So I think that's my spiel for today, because clearly I'm out of breath and I'm walking uphill.